Yay, I'm live. Hi, Winter. So it's a cloudy day here, so apologies for the lighting kind of being very washed out at the moment. But hopefully you can still see. Okay, let me know how you are. I'm drinking coffee. And I want to send a huge thank you to everyone who's subscribed in the last few days. It's surreal, and also thank you to Altnots who gave me a shout out on their channel and just sung praises about the yarn I sent them. Like, I was hoping they would like it and maybe, like, you know, give a small shout out, but like I was not expecting this. Wow. So I am like, wow, I have to restock the shop now. But first I have to send out all the orders, which I'll be doing probably Monday. Like, wow, I have a lot of orders to pack. Awesome. 500 subs. Wow, that's cool. I hadn't checked in a while, but I'm glad that you're good, Winter. And that the lighting looks fine. Thank you. Speaking of projects, I found a new way to wear this, so it felt fitting. Plus I kind of have a mermaid thing going on in my life in general right now, like this Cracker Barrel mug. Yes, Cracker Barrel. When I was in Kentucky, like for a family reunion a couple years ago, I found all these mermaid themed things that looked kind of like that like very impressionistic or like pastel kind of artwork that that used to be on those t-shirts I had as a kid, that was just basically like this, like that they had a nice kind of faded out looking picture and some French words you can't really see, but it's there. Oh yeah, the only person I know for sure is here actually speaks French, so like I'm not going to pronounce this, but it's like, if I can read the cursive, it's like Guilba, possibly U-D. Don't know if you know that word or if that's a word. Yeah, I got tons of orders, and like I realized that this is so with the orders I've gotten in 2 days, I know that business will, you know, go up and down, but like I had a certain helicopter outside. I had a certain goal for how much money I want to bring in to kind of live not extravagantly, but just like to be comfortable with where I am. And I almost got to a quarter of that, so maybe I should just show you, but it's like so blurry. Oh yeah, there. So Guilbaud, I think. At least I think it's French. It looks like that style of t-shirt I used to have that had like artsy French words in the background. So, but don't worry if you don't know. Yeah, I think that's the one. Guilbaud or something like that. Oh, cool. A name. Yeah. I know this probably isn't the case, but I want to say, like, It's the mermaid's name. um, so anyway, I do have projects to show. Um, Sparkling seltzer or juice beverage this time, but I also have water, so. I have a big pile of. Okay, a last name, right. I was thinking if it was like a last name or a place name or like a. Typically a man's name, it would be funny to say, no, that's just the name that she goes by. So I forgot to bring this last time, but I finished it. My dragonfly flying cape. And the stars, I think I need to pin them down and maybe like wash it once. I have a hard time blocking big projects because I don't know where I'm going to put them to dry. But if I tack down the sides, I think it will help. But this is kind of based on a game. Thank you. Yeah. This is based on a game I play, Sky Children of the Light. You're a tiny star child and you just fly around, and it's so fun. But it's also very connected to like. So the reason I said witchcraft in the thumbnail is because, as you may know, I'm pagan and a witch, and a lot of my crochet is either like devotional, so like it's done for or like to connect me to one of my gods, or like maybe a story. Some of it has a specific purpose, but not as much. It's more just like this is part of the connection I have with them. So this is the first. These are the first 3 skeins of yarn I dyed, and they were the prototype for Vault of Inanna. And this is one of the skeins of that I actually put it on the website, but it was bought by me as a test purchase, because when the Wix website platform told me to make a test purchase, they didn't give me any instructions other than just buy something. So I was like, so am I actually buying inventory I put in my shop? So I thought about putting it back, but I decided to keep it. So, and this is just a random geode thing that I found in my parents' house and asked if I could have, because they have lots of stuff lying around, especially crafts supplies, and I was finding a lot of blue and gold things that I didn't at first know what I was supposed to do with them, but then I met the goddess that I know as Sun Mom, or like I also call her Inanna. So, and for me at least, her colors are blue and gold. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was being given supplies in preparation for that. I need to wash this anyway because I got some coffee, I think, on it right there. My current whip is kind of witchy. It's the one with the sparkly star squares. Ooh, I'm not surprised, because that whip is so good. I mean, it's so magical looking. Not sure how many we will get through, but let's just have fun until we do. Till we run out of time. This is a poncho, kind of. This is the hole for the head. It ends up like it's way too big, kind of, but I still wear it. And this was actually made with the Furls Wander yarn that I got from that random $100 gift card that I won in my old place, and I have a video about that that haul, but it's the same yarn as this, so I got it because it felt like the whole story of like the ocean, kind of. We have the moonlight, the dark sea, the sea closer to shore, and then the sand. So I think I'm going to wear this when I go to my beach day, which I'm planning Wednesday, because I realized I can, even though I don't drive or have a car, like the beach is only an hour away by bus, which is not terrible considering the public transit here. So I've been looking up the different logistical things I need to know, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go. Yeah, that totally makes sense. The blue purple with kind of a celestial vibe reminds me of the spiritual realm. Wow, I got a really loud notification. Cool, a new subscriber. Thank you. Yeah, it makes sense. Like the stars, at least in my spiritual path, the stars are very much associated with like very mystical, otherworldly, like the deeper parts of the spiritual realm, if that makes sense. So yeah. And I feel like a lot of people, even without that, like feel a sense of wonder and like almost kind of spiritual or transcendent joy when they think about space. So the stars and stuff. So yeah. The other thing I'm going to wear for my beach trip is also a whip that was made with finished object that was made around the same time as that, but with different yarn. This is not the dragonfly pattern, but I was thinking about it when about this when I made the dragonfly. These are the butterflies. There's this butterfly prayer shawl that is on Ravelry, I think, as a free pattern, and I made it a while ago as the first part of my the triangle shawl. So I decided to use the yarn. I think it's from the Unforgettable line of Red Heart, which is not at all like what you'd expect from Red Heart. This particular line is very soft and like very different types of jewel tones. So this felt very mermaid to me. Oh, cool! Thank you. Yeah, I was going to ask you which one you meant, but thanks. Yeah, I've started wearing the trans shawl more. Like now that I'm in a place where I'm supported in my gender and stuff, like it feels safe to actually, wearing that kind of feels like wearing my heart on my sleeve, if that makes sense. Like it's almost a emotionally vulnerable thing. So it's nice to be able to do it now. Might use the colorway Super Cluster. Oh, cool. Rainbow with some pinks and greens. Yeah, that one does sound nice. This one is sadly discontinued. Thanks, Lion Brand. I think that's all I need to say about that. But it's it was their shawl in a ball. I think this colorway is the Prism. So I decided to use both of these here, and the ties are also in that color. So this is a waist wrap, if a wrap skirt, if I didn't say that before. This isn't a finished object, obviously, but while we're here, speaking of mermaid stuff, this is a random skein that I dyed in the last batch. I'm going to use it for something to do with one of my ancestor guides, who kind of gives me that mermaid feeling. Probably a triangle shawl, but I wasn't trying to recreate the Mermaid colorway, which was also inspired by this guide of mine, but I realized I kind of did, or at least I recreated what I was trying to do with that colorway. So it was supposed to be more vibrant like this, but it ended up kind of more pastel, which is also nice, but like I thought I would ask if people wanted to see that on the cotton base, and a bit like richer in color. So, and a side note about the bases of yarn that I work with as a hand dyer, I think the ones that I'm going to be able to have most regularly is the Knit Picks cotton base, at least at the moment, because I know that I can get them from the place where I buy them. I do love the other base. It's one of the Pleiades bases from Vegan Yarns. So it's the one that's bamboo, cotton, and elastic. And I also have the other Pleiades base, which is a little bit different. I haven't really looked at that one yet, but I would love to have them in my place, at least from time to time. But when I got them, they were on a huge discount, and also the boxes that they have of yarn were out of stock. So like they have bags of 10 and then also boxes of 150 hanks. So yeah, they did. I was happy to see that, and that's what this is made out of, and it's really fun to work with. Like, it's not quite as soft, but it's like shiny and like springy. So I like learning the different characteristics of different fibers, but like I think I paid less than half of what the listed full price of the Pleiades yarn was, so I'm going to wait to see like if they have another sale, or like if the boxes come back in stock, because that way I can buy a whole bunch at once. Suddenly realized there's coffee everywhere because probably because I was trying to show you the mug up close. But that's fine. Speaking of sparkly star squares, this isn't even that big of a blanket, but it's kind of huge when I try to show you. These are different mosaic crochet patterns. Some of them are, I think the main two paid patterns that I used in this were from I don't know if it's like Northern Crochet or Northern Tiles, but it's the one that looks kind of like it's these granny squares in the center. I thought they kind of looked like um, nebulae. So I wanted something that looked abstract but kind of gave the feeling of like those pictures from the Hubble Space t- Telescope. Oh, thank you. I love this one too, and the 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 ones that are actually more graphic design, like the roses, and this one, which is called Gravity, are from Sixel Home. They're a website. They're an Etsy shop and also a YouTube channel, mostly for mosaic crochet. My rule for this blanket was every yarn has to be sparkly. Yeah, that's one reason why I love seeing the squares that you're making, because it makes me think of my blanket. And I realized like I was just kind of choosing things that I liked doing and that felt right to me, but then I realized, okay, this blanket is for a certain one of my gods who of the gods that I'm close to, who showed up in one of my stories first, before I knew him in other forms, and each section of the blanket actually kind of tells part of his story, which is super cool. I obviously I'm not the first human to do that. I think I've heard of some cultures like actually have that as an established thing where blankets tell stories, but I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to like do more of this, because this feels so powerful, and it's a blanket that you can use after. I will make a bunch of smaller squares, and they will be sewn around the bigger ones. Cool. That will look great. Speaking of blankets, and mermaids. This is one of my pixel art Graphgans, and if you know my pixel art, it often includes people who are not fully clothed, just so you know. So like this one is a mermaid with like this part bare. So just to warn you, but yep, take your time. But this is one of the ones that I turned into a Graphcan. Started as pixel art, then became a crochet chart, actually cross stitch chart first, then this, and I didn't know who I was drawing at the time, but now this reminds me so much of the Sun Mom goddess that I talked about earlier. So since she's kind of in charge of my business, I draped this over my chair at my desk downstairs so that I kind of have her with me. So also, like, I love the fact that as I've learned how to do things in pixel art, I have managed to like do one of my favorite things in art, which is show the way light plays, like with this sheer fabric on her arms, and then there are some different like highlights and stuff on her tail, and of course learning how to do highlights on dark skin, which is different from how I would do them on light skin, since you can just, the brightest highlights can be white, but if you do that on dark skin, it looks like she's really shiny, which doesn't really look right. So oh, and the fabric here is not only sheer, it's sparkly, which I think it's so cool that I've learned so much about that in pixel art, and I would like to keep doing pixel art like this, and kind of show the world what I've learned. like my webcomic is going to be in that art style, but just I'm like, wow, I'm not saying I'm the first or only person to do this, but the general perception of pixel art is not that you can do like complicated layers of light and like translucent fabric and stuff like that. So I find it really comforting that I have a very like a much smaller number of choices about what to do in a pixel art canvas. That means that I can actually choose what to do instead of being overwhelmed by the choices. And while we're here, we're just gonna show my second Grafgan, which, because this is a male figure, we don't have to worry as much about censoring. Like he is shirtless, but yes, he has a dragon tattoo on his chest. This is a portrait of my patron god, Gwen Apneve, and I call it Modern Wild Hunt. It is in my Etsy shop if you want to check that out. It's I don't have my charts like linked to my website yet. I'm going to do that in the future, but like hi, I'm just showing my Grafgans, but like it's if you want to check out my Etsy shop, it's Thirst Pixels, because most of my Grafgans are kind of thirsty. I do a lot of like fantasy, pagan, and queer type of art, and also like a lot of like gothy looking people, just like maybe someone in a corset or like an undervest corset usually. And maybe like the fingerless gloves, that kind of thing. So yay, thank you. Yeah, I love this one too. I keep this one on my bed, and then the other one, I'm not sure if you were here, but I showed she's upside down, the mermaid. On my chair. Hi, Sian and Gino. Welcome in. Showing my different projects. This isn't even all of them, but this is what I felt like it was time to show right now. I made this for last Halloween. It's my dragon shawl. I think the yarn is from Ice Yarns. Yeah, both yarns are. We have this black bamboo, I think, and then the red and black. I don't remember the fiber content, but it's very soft. And the basic pattern, I may have changed it a bit, but like basically it's from it's a paint pattern on Ravelry, and I can't remember the designer. But like I think I have a video about my Halloween costume on this channel, and where I would have said the designer, but also like if you search on Ravelry dragon wing or like bat wing shawl, it should come up. Or you can ask me afterward if you can't find it. Yay, cross stitch. I love watching people talk about cross stitch because it's an awesome craft, but not one that I currently feel the need to go all out in. So it's nice not feeling the need to like buy all the stuff that they show me. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. I'm happy with my yarn. This is the prototype poet shirt that I made. This is the Pumpkin Moonlight series that I'm doing a second version on my channel, like sort of letting people see the process of how I go back through and make sure that my pattern kind of makes sense. And then at some point after that, I will make a pattern that I can send out to testers. But I'm kind of between graphics programs or like video editing programs since my last one stopped working on my computer, and I don't really have the spoons to like figure all of that out right now. So I was thinking I could just like I didn't do very much the editing when I in the series where I'm doing this, so I could just come on a live sometime and like do the next part, because I would like to get the second one done. Just not sure how the logistics will work. Oh, I'm glad to hear that person paid you. So that you can start now. I would love to hear what you're cross stitching if you want to share. Either of you or other people happen to be cross stitching. And I have one more, I think, project that I brought up here, picking cat hair off it. Last year, no, I think year before last, this took me 6 months. I remember starting more or less from this part, and then I realized, oh, I need more of the waist, so I added stuff up here. It fits really weirdly, but it does, like, if I get myself into it, it actually does work. I experimented with color work and lace. This was supposed to be a line of birds, but it looks like a line of people dancing, so that's cool. Like, so much of different things went into this. It's sort of inspired by the Minoan style kilts and like the art at Knossos. So, oh, cool. Well, I'm sure it will go a lot faster since it's also your favorite band. I find it a lot easier to work on commissions of things that I also like. Yeah, like I was told by the god that I was kind of doing this with and for that this part was meant to be birds. And I think this is the same yarn as in the wrap skirt, the Unforgettable Red Heart, I think. then some blue down here. So, wait, it actually might be a different yarn. I'm not sure. I got a lot of stash from a friend during the time while I was making this. So I'm not sure what all the stuff that they had was. It's a dog with a shadow in the ocean, but the only downside is it is black all backgrounds, which taken me a long time, but that nearly finished the background. That is good. Yeah, like I love how, like, I didn't realize that it had this second meaning and kind of more obvious meaning of people dancing until I actually did it. So I almost wonder if that was the point, because it was kind of cool how I was like, okay, so I can't find bird lace that I like, so I'm gonna have to just make my own. And I was talking to my patron, and he just kind of outlined what each row would look like in this lace, which is cool. It's not as often that I have that, where he just kind of goes line by line about what something is supposed to look like. Which, considering I'm getting this through my God phone, through like mystical conversations, kind of, it's cool to get like really practical advice. So then it turned out to look like this. Oh, and I think there's a part where the lace ends up, it's the same, but it's like head to tail instead. Oh, this is cool. I held several yarns together for this, so lots of stuff going on here. I think that's just normal lace. Normal lace. This might be the place where it's like, oh yeah, which part? But this might be the place where it's like head to toe the birds, but I'm not sure. And it's kind of folded up so that you can't really see all of the layers right now, but there, I think you meant this. Oh, yeah. Some of these patterns were inspired by the patterns they have on there's this one fresco at Knossos in Minoan, Crete, that shows two men with these skirts or kilt type things, and they have cool patterns on their skirts. I was trying to kind of recreate those with my color work. Thank you. I didn't expect to get through all of those so quickly, so I guess my goat is technically a finished object too. Yeah, no worries. And of course, this one is too, but this was not made by me. This was made by the Winter. But I made this one. Did not make this one. Beanie Baby company. Oh my god, I just noticed the tag. I'm gonna show you his butt. I'm not sure if you can see, but it says Goat TM. Which is amazing. Well, one thing I can show you that you might not have seen before is this awesome yarn that it was kind of just a random skein of yarn that I dyed because I had an extra like I knew that I wanted to dye all the yarn in this bag, but like I had certain, like I wanted to do 2 for this colorway, 2 for this colorway, and then I just had 1 left over plus a mini, so I thought, well, I'll just dye it in this color, and I'm going to use it for a project, kind of the mermaidy project. So yes, Sean and Chino, probably Instagram is the best. If we're connected on there, I'm at thorn_wing_crochet. So if you want to like tag me in a post or like post it and send me the post. I don't know for sure if you can send posts in PMs, but like if you don't mind other people seeing it, then yeah, I would love to see it. So yeah. Oh good, yeah, please do. Yeah, that's what I heard from someone else too, who that recognized where he came from. Apparently he's from the Chinese Zodiac series. I got him from a thrift store, so I all I knew was that he was the Beanie Baby, and I honestly wasn't sure why I felt like I should get this goat because at the time I was really into sheep, and I had branched out into like alpacas and stuff. But years later, it turned out that he was important to both my spiritual practice and you know, my YouTube branding. So very grateful to have his help with that. Winter actually did this. Yeah, I was about to say that. Since I was doing a pattern roundup or a finished object roundup of things I made, I didn't bring up this shawl, but they made a beautiful black and pink shawl of that I bought from them, like this beautiful like bright pink fading down to black lace shawl. Yeah, they I believe they're on Instagram and Etsy and also Ribbler. So feel free to put the names of your stuff there. I don't think people other than mods who I don't have at the moment can put links in, but you know, put the name of the shops and all. Yeah, that's such a gorgeous shawl. Like sometimes I just look at the shapes of the lace and I'm like it's kind of funny. I was thinking like, okay, how do I wear this and not have my shawl like fall off my shoulders? And then unrelated to that, a friend randomly gave me a brooch kind of that's a skeleton deer. It's awesome. And then I thought, wait a minute, people solved the problem of not having their clothes fall off like a long like a long time ago with brooches and like shawl pins. So that's how I wear it now. No, no worries. I I actually have to go soon to I go and take care of your dog. But my one of my friends is actually currently giving a talk at the Gaulish Polytheism conference that I attended yesterday, and then this is the second day, and I you know, it's sad to miss their talk, but like I was like I know I'm gonna miss next Sunday because of a different pagan conference, so I wanted to go ahead and come on here so that, you know, the people that have just followed me kind of know that I'm here and that I want to show up for them. But also I can talk to my friend any day. So plus like I'm really happy she's giving the talk she is. It's about how to this might be a slightly the triggering subject, but it's how to recognize signs of fascism in pagan communities. Yes, Vivian. And like I'm really glad she's giving that talk. I'm not saying I know everything about that, but I have a good grasp of the basics. So like I felt like it wasn't, I personally wouldn't be missing that much info, although of course I love to see her talk, but I wouldn't be missing as much if I missed that one. But yeah, I am going to go join the rest of the presentations though, so and thank you so much for hanging out, and if you're watching this later, feel free to tell me about your finished objects in the comments. Some people do this thing where they're like, if you watch this far, your secret word is this, and I'm trying to think of one that I wouldn't normally that people wouldn't say for like wouldn't just say the without knowing that it's the secret word. How about seaweed? That's your word. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad that you had a good time. And it's time to goat by. Sandcastle. I actually like that. Okay, seaweed, sandcastle, and then I just randomly thought. This box actually has a NaNoWriMo sticker on it. So, for extra points, NaNoWriMo. Which you can look that up if you don't know what that is. It's a everyone writes a novel in one month in November, but all sea-themed things too. But yeah, for now, I will see you next time.